Hello friends, welcome back to my Back to Basics series. This is episode 4 and this is where we're focused on being a good notary before chasing that bag. I know we want the money, we want the bread, but we can't have that or we can't grow to that if we're not being good notaries first. So it's important that make sure that we know our basics and we have those things down packed before we go out here chasing this bread. All right, and one of the fastest ways to lose your commission is the unauthorized practice of law, UPL. Okay, so what is that happening? That's basically when the unauthorized practice of law is when you're giving like legal advice. Hey, what should I do? What should I fill out here? And very often I get that when people are downloading documents from the internet, like a power of attorney. Some people have also done their own estate planning, downloading it, filling it out, and they're asking, what should I put here? I don't know. I'm not an attorney. I'm not here to advise you. All I know is those blanks, we're going to have to write NA in these blanks, or you're going to have to cross those section out. That's all I know is we can't have those blanks in there. I can't advise you what to put in there. You can't explain the meaning of a document. Don't interpret it. I don't know what this means exactly. You're going to have to call your attorney, call someone up. If you're doing closings, you're going to have to call your lender. If it's a lender doc, if it's a title doc, we're going to have to call title so that they can explain that to you. And if it's a purchase, they usually have an attorney, so they can call their attorney to explain the document to them. It's like a recent document that I had during a closing. The attorney wasn't present. It was just me and the buyer. And it was about well testing. She bought a condo. I don't know why that was in there. However, I see it often that it's in there. The last set of documents that I got, I saw that document in there, and title told me to tell them, although you do not have a private well, the lender is still requiring you to sign these documents because it's there for, the lender has to have those documents. And so I just said that if they wanted to discuss that further, they could have called title or their attorney. But I was in the attorney's office and they didn't have any questions. Similar document in that same attorney's office, he said the same thing. They just require you to sign it. But in this instance, to where I was with, it was just me and the signer. Although I've had 2 people tell me that lenders are just required to have that in their like loan docs now, even if it doesn't apply, you still gotta sign it. I guess the document could not fund, or the loan wouldn't fund if they didn't have that signed. And although that has been said to me twice, it's not my place to tell them that. So I did just tell her, I know this doesn't apply because you live in a condo, right? Because you don't have a well, right? It said well testing. I said, and she wanted to know more. I told her to call her attorney, and she called her attorney, and he said exactly what I was told a few other times, but not my place to do or say. So I didn't, right? I just usually just read what's at the top. Hey, like, this is a well testing document. If you want further explanation on why you have to sign it, please just call your attorney or title. And yeah, that's it. So you're not supposed to interpret anything. You're not supposed to tell the signer if they should sign. Another situation that I had about a month or 2 ago, the signer, the interest rate was incorrect. Went the whole day. The interest rate on the loan documents wasn't right. She's already had like so much like stress and trouble with her buying process in general. She was like, do you think I should sign? I told her it's not my place to tell you if you should sign. You obviously, if you don't feel comfortable, because that's one thing, like as a notary, they need to willingly sign the document. And I was like, if you feel like you're being forced in any way by someone else, another party, which she kind of did, the listing side was pressuring her to sign the documents or we're gonna hit you with this fee. So, and that's how she felt. And I said, if that's how you feel, please trust your gut. And that day we didn't sign. All right. So don't tell them that they should sign. And if, right, like I could have been like, yeah, sign it. I would have got paid my full fee. But nope. That would be putting myself at risk. I only got paid a trip and print fee that day because she chose not to sign, and that is okay. I told her it's okay if you don't want to sign. That is okay. Wrap up, call it a day. If you like title to send me out again, just request me and whatever. That was that. We're public officials. We're not attorneys. We're not lawyers. So just direct them to whoever they need to be directed to. Now, if they've printed something out from the internet and filled it out themselves, you still tell them, I'm not an attorney. They would have to advise with one, and it's not your place to do that. And I know that's why people usually print them out and do it themselves, but they should have been advised in some way. But oftentimes they're not, and that's okay. Again, not your problem to deal with. Make sure that you're covering yourself, so on and so forth. Here's some things that some clients are going to ask you. They're gonna say, what does that paragraph mean? Which I've had that happen. Hey, what does this mean? Since I do a lot of closings in general, I just know we're going to call title, we're going to call your lender, or sometimes I'm at the attorney's office, so we can just call the attorney at the office. They can tell you what that means. Is this the right form for me to fill out? I don't get asked that often. But if they do, like again, when people are printing things out from the internet, when they're doing a lot of things on their own, they may ask, like I've had someone ask me, is this the right form? I can't tell you if this is the right form. You're going to have to get some type of legal advice. I refer them to some attorneys. I don't think that they use those attorneys. But again, not my business. What happens if I sign this? I don't know. I don't know. Especially if it's not a loan closing. You called me here. I don't know what's going to happen if you don't sign this. I don't know what this means for you. Call your attorney. Call who prepared these documents. That's who you should be asking these questions. Especially, of course, like when I get called from Google, I don't know anyone who helped you do this. Like at least on the closings, I'm a part of the team. So I know who to call, who to dial when they have questions because I'm a part of that closing transaction. So I'm like, oh, it's okay. We can call Bobby at Title and get that done. And get your questions answered. We can call your lender, get that answered. Oh, like here's your agent. We can call your agent. Whatever so sometimes they ask me, when do I get my keys? I don't know. I wasn't on call your agent. They can tell you when they're gonna get the keys. Yeah. So they're gonna ask you things like that. They're going to ask you things like that. They're going to ask you, should I sign this? You can't tell them whether they should or should not sign. However they feel is however they feel. You want to sign it? Great. Do you don't want to sign it? We don't have to sign it. Thank you so much. Have a good day. And that's it. And sometimes they ask, can you explain this document? I cannot explain a document to you. I let them know that I can't explain it to you. When I'm doing closings, I'm usually just pointing at what they are likely to ask, which is, if it's a refinance, when is it going to disperse? I point to the disbursement date is here, their interest rate, their loan amount. I tell them to just double check those figures. If it doesn't match, it looks off than what you discussed, we're going to have to call your lender. It's not my place to say why this changed, why that changed. This number didn't look like that this morning. I didn't prepare it. I wasn't involved in that in any way. We need to call whoever we need to call, and that's it, right? So you let them know, I'm not an attorney. I'm not here to give you any legal advice, but you are welcome, of course, to contact whoever prepared the document. Excuse me. So I always let them know that. I'm your notary here for today. I'm not here to explain anything. If we need to call your legal team to help advise, that is totally fine. Let's call the attorney and get any questions that you have answered so that you feel comfortable moving forward. So here are some things that you can do. And basically you're going to identify the document, right? Like, which is top of the document. That's generally what I do. Here is your closing disclosure. Here is your mortgage. Here's your deed. Here's your power of attorney. So that's usually what I'm doing, right? Anything beyond that, you're going to have to ask someone else. I point to where they need to sign. You're going to sign below here, or sometimes, depending on the type of document, it can be in the middle of the page. You're going to sign here, date here, and I'm able to read any instructions that I'm given. So sometimes there's an instruction sheet, or when I get the email with the package, I print out any instructions or directions that I'm giving there, and I'll read that off if need to. Or sometimes they give me instructions on the phone. Like there was a refinance to where the payout didn't match what we had. It was different. So I was advised to let them know that although the payout doesn't match, they're gonna get a refund from the lender. And so like I wrote that down so that I can remember to let them know. But those were directions that were given directly from title that I just regurgitated back to them. And you are allowed to explain the Notarial Act, what's happening, what's the difference. We spoke about those things in my previous videos. You're there to verify the ID, as we know, and administer oaths. That is it. That is it. I see notaries sometimes, or they're free to go. I've never seen this document before. Is it hard to notarize a deed? Your only focus, the only thing that's your business as a notary is the notarial certificate, and that there are no blanks within the document. That is it. It doesn't matter what else is on the deed. You're not there to explain the deed or anything like that. Not your business. So it doesn't matter if you have not seen the documents before, because again, not your business. Just the notarial part. That is it. The notarial certificate, that's the only thing that's your business as a notary. Anything beyond that is UPL, Unauthorized Practice of Law. Why this can be dangerous. You can get your commission suspended. The notarizations can be not valid. You can get sued. You don't want to be sued, so make sure you're not doing any of these things. The state can get involved. You can get fined. You can even go to jail, I believe. So, and you don't want to damage your credibility as a notary. So, the signer, so we don't want any of those things to happen. So, let's avoid those no-nos and not do the unauthorized practice of law. We are not attorneys, and it is okay to advise them in the best way that we can, which is call whoever prepared the document. Call the receiver. What do they want? What needs to be filled out? Call them, because it is not my place to do this. All right? So how to set boundaries without sounding rude. I can't explain the document, but I can give you time to review it. Take a look. I usually point out like a few sentences where, read this right here, this paragraph, and if you need any further explanation, we're going to have to get advisement from, again, whoever's receiving it, your attorney, title, the list goes on. That's a legal question. So, if they ask you something, that's a legal question. Hey, that's a legal question. I'm not able to advise you regarding that. Let's contact your attorney. Right? And another thing that you can say is, I'm only authorized to verify your identity and complete the notarization. Anything beyond that is beyond me and becomes the practice of law. So what are we going to do? Hit up that attorney. All right. So those boundaries are going to protect you and protect your commission. So being a good notary means staying in your lane. So many people want to veer off into other things. No, don't do it. Stay in your notary lane. And that's it. Just don't veer off to the left. Don't veer off to the right. Stay in your lane. Protect your commission. All right, so comment UPL if you're ready for episode 5, and we're going to talk about notary journals, even if your state doesn't require one, right? If you need guidance, mentorship, or help building fundamentals, check out the description. I have mentorship. Let a girly know, and I appreciate you from watching. If you think that you have any notary friends that can benefit from a video like this, please send it to it. Share, give me some comments. What are your notary stories? Or again, if you have any questions, comment below. Let a girly know. Have a good day. Bye.